The topic our group chose is fad diet, and we're going to be discussing the truth and fiction about fad diets and also the health benefits, risk, and long terms associated with it. Okay. For this slide, our target audience is college students, basically college age students from 18 to at least mid 26. And basically, the most why it's important to discuss about is because it's very popular among young adults, and also the fat diets are very much promoted for quick weight loss and health benefits, which is not, and those claims cannot be backed by scientific support, and they also cause negative effects. So, and also a lot of social media influence also plays a huge role in this. Has that a lot of people are easily influenced by social media influencers claiming about how this is going to make them lose weight, and this also has a lot of health risk because it causes a lot of nutritional deficiency, dehydration, and also metabolic imbalances. Starving yourself can make your metabolism slow down. Yes, it does work for, but it's mostly short term as you're gonna gain your weight back as soon as you stop dieting, and you can't diet for the rest of your life because it can affect you both mentally and also emotionally, and this ends up leading into eating disorders and also like anorexia, bulimia, especially, and this also like make people struggle with like yo-yo dieting, moving from one diet to another because it's not sustainable in the long run as your body's gonna preserve fat thinking you're in starvation mode. You're gonna be skinny for like a short period of time, but you're gonna eventually gain that weight back because, like I said earlier, you can diet for the rest of your life, and your metabolism is gonna slow down as your metabolism uh, pretty much depends on your food intake. And the considerations for target audience is social media influence is that it promotes being thin and skinny and also masculinity for men, especially with the Ozempic rampage and celebrities becoming skinny now. For example, the Kardashians, becoming skinnier, and a lot of young women do look up to them. And with the internet being the way it is now, it spreads like wildfire. And it also encourages restrictive diets like intermittent fasting and also detox cleanses, which most of them don't have any back like evidence base they can use to back that up, and also financial limitations as healthy and organic food is very expensive, and as a college student a lot of us are broke, so we end up like eating processed food, or even some college students do starve themselves, skip meals, or adopt like yo-yo dieting or like fad diets in general. And with these fad diets, it can impact energy, focus, and also academic performances. Because if you don't eat, obviously you're gonna feel dizzy, lightheaded, and you're not gonna be able to focus in school, which I cannot do with that. So I need to eat because school is hard as it is, and I do not want to do that to my body. And like I said, yeah, financial limitations play a huge role because obviously if you want to eat healthy, you have to like make healthier choices, and that is very expensive. So most people usually go for the easier route. And with women are more likely to restrict food intake because of the beauty beauty standard that we have placed women into. The society has placed women into. We have to be a certain weight, certain height, whatever, what stuff like that. And men focus on like protein diets and like supplements, like the steroids to make themselves look buffer. And in the long run, that is not really helpful. It can impact like the body in the long run as well, because obviously too much steroids is gonna affect your heart rate and all that. And for cultural influences, a lot of fad diets are mostly Western diets. So, and for people that are with a cultural background, it's gonna clash, as they're not gonna know which one to substitute for which. So there's that. So pretty much all this is talking about is society, like the beauty standard and how like social media preys on like body dysmorphias and also insecurities as well, and how they like sell things for a quick cash grab with no evidence base. The detox cleanses we see on TikTok, Instagram, they just don't. It's just something. So the number one goal is for at the end of this presentation is to identify at least three ill benefits and risk associated with fad diets. And by the end of this presentation, the learner will be able to gain insight into benefits and risk associated with fad diets, and an emphasis on the effects of it can have on mental health and physical well-being as well. And students will be able to write a self-reflection and also outline three insights regarding advantages and disadvantages of fad diets and their relevance to their personal health decisions. And this is very much attainable because it's very realistic, and our presentation will provide clear evidence-based explanations. This will also be tailored to college-age students, keeping in mind of their financial, limitation and social media influences. And by the end of this 15 minutes presentation, the learners will be able to meet this goal. Right. And for this one, for our SMART goal for number 2 is that by the end of the presentation, the learner will be able to explore long-term sustainability of different fad diets and their potential health risk. Students will evaluate the effectiveness and risk of various diet trends based on scientific and evidence-based research, and they'll be able to engage in discussion, highlighting how they can apply this information to their current dietary choices and habits. This presentation will includes case studies to help improve understanding as well, and it's relevant to the target audience chosen, which is the college students, as many college students are exposed to diet trends and very much likely to consider trying them. And this will be achievable by the end of our presentation. Thank you.
Fad diets are restrictive dietary plans that often promise rapid weight loss through drastic modifications in eating habits. They have gained popularity through social media trends and viral marketing campaigns. College students are actively on social media platforms and quickly gain interest in following the new trending diets. Fad dieting comes with many positive and negative results that pose both benefits and risks when changing your eating behaviors. Some of the popular diets that promise fast and easy weight loss can be useful in cases where a medical condition requires it. Also, they might make sense for jump-starting weight loss before beginning a more steady, long-term eating and lifestyle plan for keeping the weight off. It is encouraged that students participating in fad dieting don't jump into a diet to see quick results, but create a long-term plan to sustain the results and remain healthy mentally and physically. It is important to notice that healthy dieting, including the use of fad dieting, is personally tailored to an individual's needs. So finding a healthy balance for beginning a new dieting journey is crucial for achieving lasting health and wellness. When fad diets are chosen correctly and followed properly, they have been seen to be beneficial toward preventing and managing medical conditions. Also, when managed correctly, fad diets can create a psychological boost that promotes increased self-confidence and motivation. Fad diets can also create a negative psychological effect if the diet isn't completed, causing feelings of guilt and deprivation. Fad diets also pose the risk of being unsustainable in the long haul, resulting in lack of nutrients, regained weight after the diet is not longer sustained. Fad diets are often taken out of context and initiated not as they should be, resulting in negative health complications and poor nutrition for the long run. It is important to note as specific conditions increase within the age of college students, they understand how it can be managed with the correct fad diet and long-term use. For example, there has been a significant increase in obesity within the age of college students, resulting in almost 1 in 3 present with it, and a limited progress in addressing the severity of obesity or how it can be managed. Fad diets often gain attention for their extreme weight loss and quick results, but can be helpful in managing medical conditions when used according to your individual needs. By providing dietary control, a lot of medical conditions can be either treated or maintained healthier. For example, the ketogenic diet is high in fats and low in carbohydrates, which has been shown to treat and manage diabetes and obesity. The Mediterranean diet focuses on increasing the consumption of fruits, beans, fats, vegetables, nuts, and whole grains, while decreasing dairy products, red meat, and processed food. This fad diet has been shown to promote healthy lifestyles and have a therapeutic and preventative impact on chronic medical conditions. If fad diets are managed correctly and sustained, results show a psychological boost for increased confidence and motivation to improve your mental and physical health. Many people experience extreme weight loss at the beginning stages of particular fad diets. This can serve as a powerful motivator, boosting self-esteem and encouraging them to continue with the dietary changes. In order for the fad diets to remain beneficial, they must be sustained in a healthy and beneficial way, so the effects don't remain short-term. When fad diets are maintained effectively, they can show results of increased motivation, visible progress, and self-discipline that come together to raise self-confidence and self-esteem.
College students often turn to fad diets in hopes of reaching quick results. While we talked about the pros of fad diets, let's now talk about the cons. Yes, you can be on a fad diet and reach your goals, but what if you can't? Students can do this by restricting themselves from eating certain food groups like carbs. This can lead to nutrient deficiencies when cutting out different food groups like these. These fad diets can be difficult to maintain in the long run and can result in binge eating and eventually gaining the weight back, which we call yo-yo dieting. Now, what happens when we cannot reach our ideal weight when on a fad diet? This leads us to our next topic, psychological effects. Because students put so much pressure on themselves to lose weight or be more fit, this can lead to low self-esteem if they cannot reach those goals. If you have a cheat meal or you decide to have a piece of cake instead of an apple for dessert, you would feel guilty. Feeling this way can lead to isolation, and maybe you will not attend the next social event at school with other classmates. Students would want to reach their goals so bad that they are willing to sacrifice their social lives to do that. Living this way is not ideal. Now let's see what Healthy People 2030 think about this. Healthy People 2030 prioritizes balanced meals that includes fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins. Notice they do not mention to eliminate entire food groups. The key is to balance them. Limiting sugars and unhealthy fats are also ways to stay healthy. These things cannot happen without proper education, though. Healthy People 2030 also promotes nutrition education and healthier food group options on college campuses. If students are educated on how to make healthier choices, this can lead to positive outcomes like improving focus and energy for better academic performance. Making healthier choices also decreases the risk of obesity, diabetes, and heart disease.
In order to evaluate our first objective, a pre- and post-quiz will be used to evaluate learners' understanding of the health benefits and risks associated with fad diets. A link has been provided for the pre-quiz and post-quiz. Learners must correctly identify at least 3 health benefits and 3 health risks associated with the diets, in hopes that at least 80% of learners can correctly identify 3 out of 3 health benefits and 3 out of 3 risks in the post-quiz. If 80% is not met, a follow-up session will be conducted using interactive methods such as group discussion for discussing key points. Moving on to our second objective, in order to evaluate this part, a case study analysis and a discussion-based reflection will be used to evaluate learners' understanding of the long-term sustainability of various fad diets. Students will read short case studies about different diet trends, analyze their effectiveness and risk, and participate in a structured discussion. Learners must identify and evaluate the long-term sustainability of at least 2 different fad diets based on evidence-based research. Learners will highlight potential health risks associated with at least one of the diets discussed. Participation in the discussion will be measured by engagement and ability to connect the case studies to real-world dietary habits. At least 80% of learners should successfully evaluate the sustainability and risk of at least 2 fad diets in the case study discussion. If this benchmark is not met, further instructional support will be provided. If fewer than 80% of participants demonstrate understanding, additional interactive methods will be used. Things like supplementary reading materials or a second case study exercise to dive deeper into the details of these fad diets and to help better understand.